So now I want to introduce Peter Orlando, who's a longtime peace activist, and he asked to say a few words.
Hi, I want to put this in perspective. When I was 15 years old, that was during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and I remember filling up bottles of water because I thought we were near nuclear annihilation. As it turned out, history shows that we were very, very close. There were many lucky circumstances that prevented nuclear war. One lucky circumstance is that Khrushchev backed down. He wasn't a Bible reader, but I'm sure he thought it's better to be a live donkey than a dead lion. And that's what we need. We need our politicians to fess up to their mistakes. Now, let's fast forward many, many years. I was in Washington demonstrating against the war in Iraq. I was asked to somehow hold the peace flag. I guess that's why I'm a peace activist. I guess I was just asked. I just came down there by bus, but they picked me out. So I did, and after that, NPR, National Public Radio, came up to me and said breathlessly, "Oh, you can be on live and tell the story." But there was a fellow named Ron Driver who was running for Congress on a peace platform. So I didn't want any glory, so I called over Ron Driver, who just passed away, and he gave a good little speech. It didn't get him to his office, but he did pretty well. And he and I predicted that the war in Iraq would be devastation. And it was devastation. And we had 500,000 people. It made no difference to our policymakers. Now let's fast forward to the contemporary times. Let's take a look at what's actually happening. We're being watched, okay? I guarantee there's no fire. I guarantee that. Now let's fast forward to present times. We know that this could be the Iraqi revenge. What happened in Fallujah, where Americans decimated that city, what happened in Mosul, where we decimated that city, could happen in Iraq. We need someone to back down. Now, lamentably, he seems like a nice guy. The president of Ukraine has been led down the primrose path by all those advisors who said, be tough with the Russians, don't compromise, don't do this, don't do that, and that's what he's done, right? He's a pretty terrible comedian because he's made 42 million people cry. Because what you have to do is say, okay, the United States had the Monroe Doctrine. We were willing to go to nuclear war back then over the Monroe Doctrine, which said, stay out of our territory. What Putin wants is Ukraine to be neutral. That's the bottom line. Now, what's the offering? How are we going to get out of this mess, right? How are we going to get out of this mess? We need two donkeys. We need two people to back down, three people to back down. We need Putin to back down. and say, it's problems, these are problems. He could stay there all day and level that place. Don't let all these silly news programs show you, people with Molotov cocktails doing anything. That's ridiculous. They're sending them to the slaughterhouse. I'm so sick of it. It's like incredible propaganda. You're just sending people to the slaughterhouse. Don't even believe it, number one. The other guy to back down would be the president has to say, okay, we can be neutral. We have to cooperate. We have to stop this carnage now before nothing is left of Ukraine. Two, we got to say to our president, sanctions don't work. If you look at history, number one, they didn't work against Japan. They'd fight right up to the end. Right? Sanctions don't work. All they do, they make it intransigent. Quick thing. Putin has not studied Marx. You know who Putin studied? The philosopher Hume. You know what Hume said? Hume said the rational person would rather have the world blow up than get a scratch in the finger, right? That's how Putin's thinking. He's not going to back down. What we have to do is give him an off-ramp. We have to stop the sanctions, de-escalate, right? Let the story be told of exactly what's going on and save Iraq. Save Ukraine. Freudian slip. We didn't save Iraq, we destroyed it. Right now, we're in what's called an interregnum. What does interregnum mean? It means a change. Yeah, one change from one regime to another. We don't have any, world government, nothing. All we have is power politics. Let's get rid of it. Let's back down. Let's be sensible. Let's save the world. Thank you.